Soldado. Whoa. Soldado. Whoa. He came from sunny Spain to learn from Harry Kane. God. Okay.
And naturally, I'm a Tottenham man, obviously. I can reflect back to being a player with and manager of some of the finest players that have ever been in the game.
The place is fantastic, the tradition of this club.
To be the manager of 3 cup-winning teams here, I'm so lucky, it's untrue.
Hotspur America Podcast, airing every week during the English Premier League season.
What a glory night at White Hart Lane. This great and historic football club. Joyful night down the Tottenham High Road.
Hotspur America, the original US-based podcast dedicated solely to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Is Gascoigne going to have a crack? He is, you know. Oh, I say! Schoolboy's own stuff.
I hate Arsenal, just hate them.
Oh, what a goal! Unbelievable! Wow, this is incredible.
We're the Yids in America.
Dempsey's there to tap in. What a fantastic run. He scored! Alex turned home. Eric Dyer.
This is your Hotspur America.
Welcome, everybody, all of you U.S. Yids and those abroad, to your North American answer for all things Tottenham Hotspur. A wonderful, wonderful week for sure as we look back on dual victories in Europe and the Premier League. With me today, as always, Sam.
My man.
My
I
man.
am thankful for 11 players playing the Tottenham way. You? How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was wonderful, and you know, it was kind of cool. The club did some stuff like that. They had Eriksson and Pochettino and a few of the other players, you know, kind of wishing all the American supporters happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, very cool. Actually, I missed that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, go online. If you guys haven't seen that, man, go check it out. It was kind of nice. It was just a nice day. I think they recognize that there's a lot of support over here, and they're doing the right thing. The club's doing
that's
the right
great.
thing. What about you, man? I had a great time over there.
I had a great, family week, and then a great Spurs week, which is something that I haven't had that combination in a while, right? I mean, not from a complete perspective. So, good showing Thursday. I think positive takeaways there, and today, wow, where do we start? I mean, we don't have to try to be positive. Like this is the first show that we've done. We didn't need to remind ourselves to do that, right?
Right. I mean, it's. God, it's so difficult.
Yeah,
Some
it feels
weeks.
good.
It does feel good, and I think what we're seeing is a natural, simplistic progression of what this is supposed to become. Now, it's not perfect by any means. For me, we really need Kyle Walker back. We really need. He did a great thing today in putting Lennon over on that side to try to act as a secondary defender for Morales. Now, Morales had just a belter of a goal. I mean, that thing was beautiful.
Yeah. We made some mistakes to lead up to putting in a position, but look, he made a fantastic shot, and that shouldn't be taken away from him. But speaking of Lennon, you're absolutely right. I mean, he was a terror defensively today. He was every bit as important defensively as he was, streaking up the pitch. So
yeah.
that was really, really encouraging, and you saw that effort up and down the lineup. Which is just simply something that we haven't enjoyed. Maybe Southampton fixture, but you definitely, I mean, I don't know, I did. You sensed a sense of urgency, togetherness, a sense of understanding amongst the team today?
I did, and the one thing that was evident is, and Simon and I were talking about this at the pub today, is they can't lose 5 games at home.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
For the season, let alone this early in the season, we're still in the front third of the season. You can't lose 5 at home.
Yes.
And they had to get that monkey off their back, I think. The players feel it. They're talking about it in the media, for God's sake, that it's something that they needed to cure. They were looking forward to being out on the road because they didn't feel the same amount of pressure. Every time they'd make a mistake, the crowd would boo. It would really start affecting them.
Yeah.
And to the credit of the fans in the stands,
they were great today.
They were great today. And when they made a mistake, it wasn't all screams and yells and stuff like that. They sang the whole. You heard them the whole time, singing, cheering the guys on. We were doing the same thing in the pub, and it was a joy to watch. You're finally starting to see these things come together. It's not perfect, and I said that earlier, but there's the little pieces. Obviously, Soldado's finish today goes a huge. It's got to be huge for his confidence because he can go bag a hat trick in Europe, and it's not going to give him the confidence he needs in the Premiership.
Yeah, talk about the importance of getting that monkey off of his back, and I think you saw his comments post the match that he put on Twitter and how emotional he has been. What I felt, as I said, that there was 11 players working towards a common cause. They for the first time up and down the lineup, they look like a team. It looked like that we've always said, well, what's do they have a sense of purpose about them? Do they have sort of a unified sense of direction? And I felt like they did today. And watching the rest of the players surround Bobby after he scored, I think speaks to the fact that there's starting to be chemistry of a team there, and I think that ultimately is what can carry us a long way. And I think we've got brilliant fans, brilliant home supporters. They're very smart, also very cynical, but they pick up on that positivity and they pick up on that chemistry, and they definitely picked up on that today. At least that's what I saw.
At 45-1, he scores the goal, and it's funny because we were all in the pub going, "Don't do something stupid right here and give up a late goal," because everything was starting to finally work together. The first 20 minutes were a little, same old Spurs type thing where we were still trying to find our feet. Everything was a little bit scatterbrained, it seemed like, and we were like, just don't make a mistake. And then Kane slides in from behind, nicks the ball away.
What a fabulous tackle!
And even Martinez was like, any other day that's a penalty, but to be fair to him, he didn't really.
Just a
belay
fabulous,
the point too much.
Fabulous tackle. And
then he scoops right up and picks up the ball, shoves it over to Lennon, and Lennon makes a beautiful weighted feed to set the man up. And there are some pictures you could see Lennon calling back for the ball. If he could just center it, and wouldn't that be nice? 29 games Lennon has scored and we've never lost. But Soldado, he needed this goal.
Yeah, he did.
And the commentators made mention that he was looking. I don't know if it was the commentators or match of the day that was shortly thereafter here in the U.S. that he was looking near post and shot far post.
Right.
And for him to have to utilize that type of a skill to fool the keeper enough when he's that close in, and have it just go side net for him.
Yep.
And then he says afterwards, he said the moment the ref blew the whistle for halftime and everybody sung my name, I welled up a little bit. I had a tear in my eye, and it was very special.
Yep.
So, he knows that they paid a lot of money for him, and he really wants to start,
absolutely
being worth it.
And as you and I have talked before, he's a proud man, and he's a chippy player. He's scored bags of goals in La Liga. He understands his price tag. He takes a lot of pride in his work, and this has been it's been a mentally debilitating period of time for him. But he's never stopped trying, and no matter in many instances where he was just he was played in positions and played tactically, almost doomed to fail. And look, there was a managerial decision that went on this week. Let's take a quick step back and let's go to Thursday. And you could look on a score sheet and say, well, he missed 4 goal opportunities where he should have at least scored 2, and arguably all 4 of them. And this manager stood by him. Yeah. This manager never backed away from him when many other managers would have and said, well, after 18 months, sod him, but he never did. I rate Park tremendously for understanding that he is who he is. He's just going through a bad spell. I don't view him to be a Torres kind of player, and I believe that he can play himself out of it. And I think that, look, in the system that we're in now, he's going to get those chances, and I always talk about how I love numbers. I really believe that he will play himself out of this, and this will hopefully be one of many.
Yeah, Robbie Earle was talking in the post match and all that stuff, that if he can regain his confidence and keep the form that he's has after let's face it, 1 game, that there's no reason why he can't go out and bag 15 to 17 goals. There's absolutely no reason, especially if he's able to feed off of Kane.
Oh, yeah.
And those two develop the partnership. He said with the midfield that Spurs have, if they can just listen to Pochettino and play the system that he played at Southampton, and everybody buys into this, there's no reason that he can't bag 15 goals this year.
Yep, totally agree. And I think Harry Kane today stepped up his leadership game.
Man of the match without scoring.
Yeah, right. And that speaks to his work rate. How well did he hold up the ball today in so many different spots?
Yeah, against a very good defensive back.
Right. Long runs that he made. His on-the-ball skills are much, much better than what a lot of people give him credit for. And he's developing as a completely two-footed player. He's unafraid to shoot with his left foot. He's looking to be every bit of our future as we have on our team, and everybody is seeing this effort from these academy players, and I think Soldado is putting in academy-like work because he's got so much to prove, and I think the rest of the team is following along. This is the type of effort that our supporters demand and will always be supportive of, and I think that, as I said, they're acting like a team. So a good week.
Very good week. Even at Partizan, you could again that should have been 4 or 5-0.
Oh yeah.
There were some missed opportunities by Soldado, by Lamela, by a few just barely missed passes that would have fed guys wide open. Now Partizan, they're doing great where they're from, but they're top of the table and they've only given up 8 goals all year long and they scored 38 or something like that. But when they're playing stiffer competition, they're really no match.
Yeah.
But these guys came out and played with heart, even though they're eliminated. And the announcers made mention that these guys and the club itself are playing for money. If there is young talent on this team, Bursic and a few of those others, that can be sold for a profit, a marked profit. That's what keeps clubs like that in smaller, third world type situations running. They came out and were playing hard.
I agree. It never looked like they were giving up. And my biggest takeaway from that game, I had 2 big takeaways. Number one is that my affirmation of wanting to have Benji Stambouli's love child continues because I just think he's great. Oh, I love him. And I thought he had
great.
I thought he had a complete game. I did. I thought he commanded the midfield. I mean, other than being a bit slow in spots, I think he makes up for just guile and just putting himself in real intelligent positions. He knows where to be. He's commanding. Didn't miss a tackle. And it was the first match that I ever remember saying to myself, Lamela is getting better. Looked physically stronger, looked confident. And granted, I know it's Partizan, but I would have liked to have seen him get a full 90 minutes today. And I was bitching a little bit, when we saw the lineups. And but all in all, I was proven to be wrong. We didn't miss him for a full 90. And I think over a period of a long season, he's going to continue to get. He's part of this future of this club without question. So.
Sure, I was having some just Twitter back and forth with Julie Welsh, writer.
Oh, you show off!
Yeah, I know.
Go let the worthy listeners know who Julie Welsh is.
Julie Welsh, for those that don't know, is a wonderful author. She wrote the biography of Tottenham Hotspur. If you do not have that book, you need to add it to your Christmas list. And co-wrote. Along with Rob White, the Ghost, the story of John White. Both books I've read, wonderful books, but she's a wonderful author. She's currently working for one of the newspaper publications, doing some writing, and a fan of the show. She is one of my Twitter trumps for the week.
Oh.
So yeah, you're not beating that. But I was just having some Twitter back and forth with her. Very, very simplistic and very short and sweet. But she is another Benji Stambouli fan. She thinks the world of him, and I think Love Child says it mildly. I think she has a massive crush on Mr. Stambouli. But she also recognized that there are the young talent, Mason and Bentaleb, as they're forming a relationship together. These guys are kids, man. And you look at Eriksson, we talked about this before, 21, 22 for Lamela.
Yeah.
Chadley's 24. You've got all of these guys that are still very relatively young. Even Davis, Rose, Walker. You start getting up there when you get Vertonghen's 27. I think Fazio's 26. But these guys, none of them. Aside from up front with the strikers, none of them have really hit their prime.
No, we have one aging star, and he'll be gone in 6 months.
Yeah,
and he might even be gone. Might even be gone in January.
Yeah, and hopefully that's the case. They really need to bring in another striker, even if it's somebody of equal guile. I mean, I'm not looking for world class, top notch echelon, world class strikers to come in here.
No, well, you're not going to find one in the window anyway.
No, but
transformational.
And you may find one in Jay Rodriguez, and he would be the only one because he hasn't played a lick for Southampton, coming off an injury yet. And so he may be available. Would someone like Benteke be available? I'm not thinking. If Villa keeps sliding and it becomes rather evident that they're going to be in a relegation battle, they